I am really, really delighted to be here. I'm excited to be here and to have an opportunity to have an extraordinary conversation with you about the games Mother never taught you that really, no kidding, could make a difference between where you are and whatever it is as the next place that you want to be. I'm going to be talking about the obstacles that are in our way. And many of them may very well be what I call underneath the water, not in our view. So I'm excited to talk with you about that. So what the title starts off with is Games Mother Never Taught You. First point I want to make, the work world is a game. Now, that's an affront to the sensibilities to a lot of women, because we take ourselves very seriously. We take the work we do very seriously, which is very, very important. But thank you very much for the survey, by the way, that you filled out. And the but is only 30% of the people who sent the survey back, and it was a sizable number of you, and thank you for that, only 30% knew that their organizations or the work world was a playing field. And that's consistent with what I see in working with women over the last 25 years, not recognizing that we are playing a game. And like all games, it has silly made-up rules. Our organizations may be different from each other, but all organizations have rules, and most of them are silly. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Thank you. I just want to make sure that we're all here in the room. I am not a big advocate of playing. Stony Brook University asked me once if I would speak on up the corporate ladder, how to play the game. And I said, no, here's what I would like to talk about. Up the ladder, how the game is played. Whether you want to play or not is entirely up to you. But as this picture indicates, that's up here on the screen, if you're playing solitaire when the game is football, you're going to get run over. And most of us believe, I know I'm going to shock you right now that I'm 66. Somebody look shocked. I love you. You're all my best friends now. You're all my best friends. But, I share everything that I'm saying with you. What I want to share with you this afternoon has come hard-won from experience. A lot of these things I didn't know about in the beginning of my career either. I didn't know. You see, I thought, and maybe you did too, you work hard, check, right? You do your absolute best, and then you wait to be discovered. No. Look, I know I got a room here full of very successful women, very successful business leaders. So I believe there's a lot of collective wisdom in the room about how to succeed. So, your feedback and your input through this is going to be very, very important. And by the way, for the men in the room, we're so glad you're here to support us and to be able to be the people who tell other people about us so that access becomes easier, since the voice of authority. So we thank you very much for being here and providing access for us. So you don't have to play by the rules, but you have to know what they are. How many of you are offended by the idea that it's a game? None of you know that. How many of you know that it's a game? All right, please take that with you when we start taking ourselves very seriously. And why are they doing that? And we're all upset about that. Because there's a game going on. Now, why don't most women know the rules of the game? Because they're not written down anywhere. When I was a manager for the Hershey Foods Corporation, that was early in my career, I was the only manager with 105 men. And when I won the sales award there, I thought they were all going to be thrilled and happy for me. They were not. And what I saw when I worked in that organization is that as the other guys came in and they got their orientation, see, I got a bunch of manuals. I was told your job's in here. Just read the rules and you'll know how we do things. But what I saw is that the guys got taken around by the shoulder and what was said to them is, let me show you how we really do things here. Okay, so let me do this with you. I'm talking about the culture that's out there. We're in a different culture. We're in a different culture, different norms, different rules, different language. And here's how it goes. When you're driving, this is just to check and see that you're all still here with me. You're driving, you have a green light. Now this is rules. Driving, green light. What's the rule, written rule? Good, you're all here. Okay, driving, red light. What's the rule? Stop. Very. Okay, that's good. All right, now, rule. Driving, yellow light. What's the rule? Speed up. Yeah. There you go. That's the. There you go. But your answer is the unwritten rule, right? That's the culture. It's not written down any place. Pedal to the metal, speed up, get through as quickly as you can, right? That's one of the reasons that we don't know. So we have to watch what people do, not what they say, right? Okay, there are fewer mentors for women than there are for men. I'm going to give you the downside of this. Very often, when we do have women who are players, they wind up in top-level positions and buy into there's only one queen of the ball. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Thank you. So what I would invite you to do, make sure, please, you reach back and help other women forward. Okay? We need mentors. We need coaches. Because if you're going to do the triple axel and land on your feet, you've never done the triple axel before. You have figured out an awful lot. We have figured out an awful lot in our lives. An awful lot. But to get from where you are to where else you want to go, listen, here's my big message to you. Everything you want is right outside of your comfort zone. And if you haven't done it before, you're going to need a coach who says, yes, you can. Yes, you can, and yes, you will, and pushes you and holds you accountable for it. And doesn't allow us to wimp out. Okay, we think we know the rules. We have blind spots. And we need to know what those things are so that we move them out of our way. We don't like rules. Okay, here's my suggestion to you. Ready? Here's the rule of the game. The person with the gold makes the rules. So get the gold, and you can make the rules. Was anybody expecting this is going to be a fun thing that I'm going to be talking about here today? Okay. I'll get to the fun part. Okay, last one, we think the game is fixed. So here's the survey that you gave me. 40% of you said that your organizations are gender-based management structures. 20% said there's a glass ceiling. 30% of you said you're having unequal pay, and 50% of you said there's no organizational practices in your way whatsoever. What do you think about that? What'd you say, blind? Maybe so. Maybe so.
We think the game is fixed like rigged? Is that what that means?
Yeah, fixed like rigged, like there's no access. There's a certain... Now, here's the thing I want to tell you about the culture. The business world is predicated on two male cultural norms. One is military. The structure of it is designed for the military. And the language is sports. So tell me some of the things you hear in your workplace that are sports language. Like what?
Wipe out the competition.
Wipe out the competition. What else?
Stay in the game.
Stay in the game.
Skin in the
Skin in the game.
game. Hit a home run. Train play.
Hit a home run.
Get the ball over the line.
Get the ball over the line. Go for the goal.
Balls in your court.
The ball's in your court. You see what I mean? End run. Monday morning quarterbacking.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we look at like, what the heck are they talking about? That's, to my way of thinking, that's the only reason to pay any attention to football. Otherwise, I think it's just a complete nonsensical sport. I don't know, like grabbing each other under the towel and jumping. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. Okay, one last fast thing. So, girls' rules. What we did learn is girls' rules. Now, many of you played team sports, which I was really happy to see. 65% of you have played team sports, which is great. How many of you in the room, since you didn't all answer, have played team sports? See, this is fabulous. It's a new generational phenomenon. Playing team sports makes a very, very big difference. But girls' rules go like this. Stay close to home where it's safe. Don't wander too much, you're going to get into trouble. It's not safe out there. Avoid confrontations because you may damage the relationship. And after all, the relationship is what's most important. Play one-on-one and have a few close best friends. One of the biggest mistakes we make in the workplace is confusing friends and friendly. Thinking everyone's our best friend and then being horrified when something happens in a meeting and they don't agree with us. I thought you were my best friend. Do you ever see guys in a meeting, they jump on each other and they criticize and they yell and they talk over each other and you think, wow, they must hate each other. No, afterwards they go for a beer. Okay, that was fun. You don't agree with me in a meeting, I'm never talking to you again. I'm not playing with you anymore. That's girls' rules. Another one of girls' rules I call dead even. Nobody is in charge. Who died and left you, and who made you the leader? See, we do things in circles, and we're very collaborative, and we get very nervous about jumping into the spot and saying, okay, somebody's got to take this over, that'll be me. Okay? Oh, by the way, I'm going to say things, and you're going to say, no, I don't do that. Hopefully, I will say enough things that you say, Oh, bad news inside, I really do that. So if you walk away with one, we got a, pardon the language, home run here. Okay, now you tell me what are some of the other elements of a game besides rules?
Strategy.
Strategy. What else?
Score.
Scoring. Skills. Let me move this up.
Positions.
Team, absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to like everybody on the team. That's another thing. When my son was little, he's outside playing ball with the kids, and he keeps running in and complaining about everybody he's playing with. And I said to him, Brian, if you don't like these kids, why do you play with them? And he looks at me like I have 6 heads. Because you need 9 guys to play. You don't have to like them. They're on your team. We have to play with them. And we got to figure out ways to do that. As I said, they're not your best friends. You don't have to go to the movies with them. But you got to play with them. Okay, goals. Object of the game is to win. Oh, another thing about a game, as you notice, like basketball, they don't spend the game dribbling around in a circle. They're not into the process of the game. It's very boring if they just stood in the court dribbling around. There's a goal, get it in the basket. Now, what am I talking about here? And by the way, I said, I'm a woman too. I've done all of these things. Men think we set them up when we invite them to go shopping. Because we say, well, he says, well, what do you want to go shopping for? I need a new shirt. Okay. Now, in a man's world, you go to the store and you buy a shirt. Not in a woman's world. In a woman's world, we have to look at all the possibilities of shirts. And we have to have lunch. We have to have lunch. We're into the process of shopping. And if we don't wind up with a shirt, that's not a problem. What is that? Tomorrow. We can look forward to shopping tomorrow. And he's like, you kidding me? You ever see the guys sitting in the stores? They're like they're gonna stick a fork in their eye. How did she rope me into this? There's a big difference between we're gonna be in the process and we're going to score a goal. I have to tell you something, for the women in the room, the men are looking at me like, what the heck you mean what is she talking about? Because this is like second nature. But you men know when you go shopping, right? It's like, why did I go? Smart men say, no, you go. You go, I'm not doing that. Okay, keeping score. How do you keep score in the game?
Money.
Thank you. You make it or you don't make it. You make the connection or you don't make it. Ball in the basket. Everything else sounds to them like reasons and excuses and dribbling the ball around the court. My dad used to call me and he'd say, how you doing, Ellen? I said, Dad, I'm so busy. And he'd say, yeah, I know you're busy, but are you making any money? I'd say, Dad, I'm so busy. And this was a little game we used to play. All right, so I'm going to talk with you about the unconscious mistakes that we make in the game that sabotages. Okay, first one. All right, I'm going to say something very, very radical that you may not have considered. Ready? You with me? All action is born in thought. All action is born in thought. In other words, before you do something, there's a thought that precedes it. So if we get our thoughts straight, the actions will be straight. Is everybody following me? All right? So what we're going to look at now is the ingrained behavior. This is the DOS operating system. This is what's going on in the thought process that leads to the behavior. Number one, an inordinate need to be liked. 90% of you said it's very important to be liked. Yes, it's very nice to be liked. What you get when you need to be liked is used and abused. What I want to encourage you to think about is to replace the need to be liked. Part of that is the need for approval, to prove something, and to please replace the need to be liked with the driving passion for respect. Self-respect and being a stand for yourself. How many of you can relate to what I'm talking about the need to be liked and having it manipulate you? Come on, the room is full of women. I was just with an executive this morning, president of a $100 million company, and she has been so manipulated by her employees with their sad stories. And I met one of her employees in the hall because she's beginning to change her behavior and not listening to the whining and the pouting and I don't like you and being manipulated by that. And I have to share with you what he said to me in the hall. He says, my boss is starting to say no to me. That's not good. We're going to have to get rid of you. You like that? You know what I said to him? You can try. You can try. Smiling in the same way.
Most likely we'll be getting rid of you.
Yes, exactly. And you are now on my list. That's right. Okay, respect. All right, number two. Everyone else comes first and you come last. Doing machines. Exhausted. Feeling burned out sometimes. Look, I'm talking to people who've just come off tax season, right? You gotta know what I'm talking about. Okay? Everybody else comes first, I come last. All I'm asking you to do is to please get on the list. The problem is, you're not even on the list. So I gave you little notepads. And at the top of the notepad, it says, do something nice for yourself. Every day, it starts that way. Do something nice for yourself. Every day. What I think we're afraid of is the nasty word selfish. I'm going to give you the definition of selfish. Concern with one's own interest. And I'll say to you, if you're not concerned with your interests, guess what? Nobody else will be either. So please take this on. It's not me first, it's me too. And a lot of you are not even putting yourself in the equation. Here's what we do. We're so empathetic and so understanding and so caretaking and so nurturing. We get on the other side of the table all the time of what they want and how they feel. And you forget about yourself. So I want to invite you to get on your own list. Doing too much and pushing too hard. Oh, this is a big one. The single biggest career block for women? Lack of self-confidence, self-doubt, double-guessing ourselves, and needing to get reinforcement from someone else. Is that right? Did I get that right? Am I doing all right? Is that okay? And whether we say it out loud or we say it privately. Do you remember the OJ trials? Marcia Clark was the prosecutor. Marcia Clark said after she lost, the reason she lost is because she doubted her own wisdom. She was second-guessing herself all the time. She was not listening to the wisdom within herself. One of the tremendous advantages that we have is that we have a sixth sense. And if we will only trust it, that inner voice that says you're right. And you need the support. We need the support of winners who want us to win, who keep saying, go for it, you're right, you're fine. You're fine, it's good, why wouldn't you do that? Take that on, why not, you're great. I know your mouths are full of food, but could you please turn to the person next to you and say, go for it, you're great. There you go, go for it. Go for it, you're great. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, moving right along. Dressing, ready? Dressing either inappropriately. How many of you have seen a lot of women in the workforce, especially these days, who are not dressing appropriately? Thank you. All right, please pass it on to them. Let them know they have just gotten in their own way. And what I would say to all of them, because you all look absolutely fabulous, here's what I'm going to suggest. Dress for where you're going. And we can't say, nah, I don't care. I don't like to play by those rules. Fine, just know. Here's a radical statement. I just want to make sure I'm shaking you up enough today. We're the architects of our own misery. We cannot say anybody else is doing it to us. So dress for where you're going. Okay, waiting to be called on in meetings. This is part of girls' rules. Here's how it goes. You talk, then I talk, and then she talks, and we're all very polite with each other, right? How do men do it? They interrupt each other, right? They're jumping all over each other. Okay, games. Next time you're in a meeting, be at least the first, second, or third person to speak. Do not disappear into the woodwork and get silent. Yeah, and don't allow them to talk over you, because that's another one. Say, I'm talking. Okay, couching your opinions in questions. Hello, we say. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Like we're not sure. We have these tag endings at the end. Like we're not quite sure if it's a nice day. I understand it's designed to bring people into the conversation, but what we have to learn really strongly is be straight. You got an opinion? Let's state it. Okay, allowing yourself to be the scapegoat. They want to blame you, you're going to blame yourself. Oh, it must have been me, I must have done something wrong. They're acting up, I must have done something. Anybody relate to this? Judging yourself unmercifully. Must have been my fault, I must be doing it wrong. It isn't possible that anybody else is doing anything around you that's contributing to this. Asking permission. I don't know about you, I'm all about asking forgiveness. Children ask for permission. Do what you have to do, and then one of my favorite games, this is where you use what you've got. And men do it all the time. Oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. You know where they do that? They do it at home. They're rocket scientists, but they can't figure out how to turn on the vacuum cleaner. How do you load the washer again? Could you go through that again? And yeah, I know I don't do well with the dishes. I just can't seem to get that. Maybe you should do. Oh, and here's what we do. Oh, give that to me. Let him do it. Asking permission and not asking for what you really want. Not asking for what you really want. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this to you. And we'll deal with whatever the feelings come up. Okay, could you please take out your business cards? Please take out a business card. Please take out your business card and flip it over to the back. Yeah, network so much. Okay, now if you have a pen, please make a decision. If you would like to be on my mailing list, put the letter M. You'll get my newsletter, you'll get my blogs, you'll get my articles, and you'll get notices of workshops. If you'd like me to speak at one of your events, put an E on the back. If you'd like me to call you for any reason, even to chat, put a C. Or on the back of your card, if you never want to hear from me, never ever, please put an X. And then take your card and pass it to one person at the table. Thank you. Thank you. Pass it to one person. And I'm not offended, whatever you wrote there. Pass it to one person at the table. There we go. I actually am going to collect these. I'm going to collect these. But if we hesitate to ask for what we want, we're never going to get it. We're never, ever going to get it. Okay. So, I've been doing a lot of talking, which is unusual. I want to wrap this up, so I want to get some feedback from you. I want to get some feedback from you. Based on what, hello, come on back. Based on what I've been saying the last 45 minutes, or however long it is here, what of value can you take away from what I've shared with you in the last hour? Anybody? Yes? Believe in yourself, thank you. What else? Yes?
Our responsibility as mentors to women coming up through the ranks.
Our responsibility as mentors to women coming up the ranks. By the way, in the booklets that you have there, I am the chair of the board of a foundation called the Women's Leadership Development Center, and that is for women who are interested in being mentors to the next generation of women who may be lost and need direction, as well as for the women who want the greatest mentors that there are out there. So I encourage you to look at that. Yes, what's your takeaway?
Have confidence and don't be afraid.
Thank you. Have confidence and don't be afraid. Yeah, please develop a growth mindset. Growth mindset. It's not about, I gotta be 100% right and perfect in everything I'm doing all the time. What else are you taking away? Believe in yourself. Please surround yourself with people who reinforce that. Please surround yourself with people who can reinforce that. One more. Yes?
To help other women and ask for help from them.
Help other women and ask them for help. Yeah, build your networks. Oops, I'm in the way. Build your networks. Ask for assistance. There's no better way for you to get what you want than asking people to help you. They're really delighted. You want to know why? Because they have so much respect for you and what you've already accomplished. The fact that you would ask them for assistance, They're very moved, touched, and inspired by that. And if they're not, move on. Move on. Okay, these are last fast things I want to share with you. Make a plan for yourself. If there's one thing you're going to take away from this conversation, please put it on the pad. Tell yourself you're going to do it. And then mail it to a trusted friend who will hold you accountable. Otherwise, we have all kinds of plans. We stick it in a drawer and we forget about it completely. Send it to someone. Let them hold you accountable for it. Build your network and tap into the intelligence. Do you know someone who has achieved what you want to achieve in your life? Do you know anybody who has achieved what you've achieved? Do you? The head can go either yes or no. You don't? Okay, then you got to find some role models who have achieved what you want. But if there are people around you, you know, the CEO of Deloitte & Touche, she got this. Sharon Allen, chair of the board, actually, of Deloitte & Touche. And she said she learned in her 30s that she's got to go after and ask for what she wants because her male colleagues were being promoted over her head because she was playing solitaire. And she said she finally went to the powers that be and say, I don't really understand why these men are being promoted and I'm not. Let me just run down for you my accomplishments. And they said, you know something? We didn't even know. Please don't wait to be discovered. Use the network and do a little PR for yourself. There's two words we're afraid of, nice and mean. Okay? We want to be nice, and we don't want to be mean. All I want to say to you with each other, say what you mean, just don't be mean. Simple as that. But I will say to you, if Sharon Allen and the head of Facebook, the new COO of Facebook, Cheryl, Carly Fiore, here's what I would like you to say. You ready? If they can do it, I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. There you go. Last thing I want to say to you, and hopefully we got a mindset, no failure. It's not about big changes that you need to make. It's small incremental changes. It's about breaking habits, habitual ways of being that keep you stuck. So, what I would like you to do as the final act is to please take a finger and put it in your ear. Please take a finger and put it in your ear. Thank you. Just be with me for one moment. Take a finger and put it in your ear. Very good. Aim high, keep your head in the game, and play to win. Now the reason you have your finger in your ear is so that it doesn't go in one ear and out the other. Thank you, guys.